right, folks, Yishai Fleischer on the road right now in Florida, always promoting the land of Israel and the connection of Jewish people and lovers of Israel to the land of Israel, and the greatest story ever told, which is the return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel. Now, one of the great mistakes along that road has been giving away the land of Israel to the enemies of the people of Israel. That's the dreaded Oslo Accords of the 90s and the 2000s. These accords, which the Jewish state went for, empowered the PLO, of all people, the Palestine Liberation Organization, later to become the PA, to be normalized, and their narrative to be normalized, which is that they want to destroy the whole thing. And you may not know this, but the PLO and Hamas are just two sides of the same coin. One is the jihad-facing side to the Arab world, and one is the more liberal face for the liberal world. But they basically have the exact same value, which is to destroy Israel. And sadly, members of our own Israeli government gave away the land of Israel to its enemies and created this narrative of Palestine through the process of the Oslo Accords. Now, finally, people on the Israeli left are starting to admit what a mistake that was. And here is a former Knesset member, Eli Goldschmidt, who was a Labor Knesset member and a respected one. And you'll hear him, he's an intelligent fellow, talking about the awful mistake of the Oslo Accords and explaining the psychology of what led to it. So this video is in Hebrew, but it's got subtitles written on it. Let's take a listen.
אמרתי בפוסט קודם שאני טעיתי, ורבים מחבריי טעו כשתמכנו בהסכמי אוסלו.
So the first part is we made a mistake when it comes to Oslo. My friends and I made a mistake. Here's why.
על זה כמוצאי שלל רב, הנה מישהו שהיה בשמאל או במפלגת העבודה מודה שהוא כשל בכך שהוא תמך באוסלו. זה לא מעניין אותי. מעניין אותי להסתכל באמת הפנימית שלי ולא לחשוש גם אם התוצאות אינן טובות כשאני מסתכל פנימה.
Okay, so here he's saying that he cares about his inner truth, and it doesn't bother him if people are going to laugh at him or say that he was wrong. He's saying that he was wrong, and he wants to kind of share his inner truth and also the rationale behind the Oslo Accords.
אוסלו היה ביטוי מעבר לרצון לעשות שלום עם הערבים. זה היה ביטוי קודם כל להיות סוג של ככל הגויים, להתקבל בעמים, להתקבל בעולם הליברלי, המתקדם. עד אוסלו לא היינו יכולים לטוס, לא לסין, לדעתי גם לא ליפן, לא לרוסיה, לא למזרח אירופה, לא למרבית מדינות דרום אמריקה. אחרי אוסלו הכל נפתח. פתאום התקבלנו למשפחת העמים. זה נתן לנו הרגשה מאוד טובה. אנחנו פתאום חשנו שבשכונה שלנו כולנו נוכל ללכת להיכל התרבות ולשמוע את ברמס. לא רק המינויים היקים של התזמורת הפילהרמונית. שכולנו נלך ונראה ונשמע הצגות של מחזות של שייקספיר, של צ'כוב. Fair is foul and foul is fair, hover through the fog and fill the air, כך אומרות המכשפות במחזה מקבט. אני למדתי את זה בעל פה בכיתה י"א, אבל אף אחד לא לימד אותי ערבית.
So, there's a lot of psychology in what Eli Goldschmidt, Knesset member Eli Goldschmidt, is saying. The first is that he was saying that the Oslo Accords, one of the main baits, the main reasons that Israelis like himself felt drawn to it was because it normalized Israel in the eyes of the nations, and that this very culture-type person could now share a global culture, and now he's quoting Macbeth and Brahms, and he would be able to go to the opera houses and the theater houses of the world and be allowed in. And before that, Israel was set apart. It was not accepted into these places, into these institutions and cultural institutions. And he felt that Israel was isolated. And he hoped, and people like him hoped, that the Oslo Accords would indeed allow Israel to be a normal nation like other nations. And when he says normal nations, it's really a kind of European-centered outlook. He means to say that, like, the Euro folks of Germany, England, France would accept them. And in many ways, he is reflecting also where he comes from. He comes from German Jews. He'll talk about it a little bit. And that to him seemed like normal culture, and he wanted to be part of that. Just like his parents before, or his grandparents before the Nazis were cultural leaders in places like Germany. So he wanted to feel that Israel would feel accepted. But now he goes on to say, but nobody taught us Arabic. Nobody taught us to be Middle Eastern. Nobody explained to us the mindset of the Middle East, or at least we didn't accept it. And therefore we didn't understand what we were stepping into.
ולא רק שאף אחד לא לימד אותי ערבית, אף אחד גם לא רצה ללמוד ערבית. בכל הסביבה שלי. כל ראשי הממשלה שלנו. נדמה לי שלמעט משה שרת שידע ערבית, כולם, מבן גוריון ועד ביבי היום. וכל אורך השורה לא ידעו ערבית. אני לא יודע כמה חברי כנסת שהם לא מהמפלגות הערביות שנמצאים בכנסת היום יודעים ערבית, חוץ מכאלה שהיו ראשי שב"כ. אבי דיכטר מן הסתם יודע ערבית. זה מראה משהו. אני זוכר שהיו...
So he's saying that a lot of us don't speak Arabic. The subtext is that we don't quite understand the Middle East and where we're living. We don't understand the mental and cultural language of our surroundings. And therefore, if you hear carefully, if you listen carefully to what he's saying, I've wanted to feel home in the German cultural realm because I didn't feel so at home in the Arabic cultural realm, but therefore I also didn't understand what Israel was. Israel is a Middle East country. And I felt inside like it was a European country, and I wanted to be accepted there. And so I went to make steps to give away parts of the land of Israel so that I could feel more connected to Europe. And this is a kind of damning revelation about the Ashkenazi-style elite that was also a secular elite that didn't quite understand the region and didn't understand its historical, spiritual, religious, linguistic, cultural norms of the region. He just didn't understand that I wasn't really part of that. Even though I spoke Hebrew and I'm Jewish and I belong to this land, there was a lot missing.
היו באים אלינו, בעיקר אנשים מבני עדות המזרח, ממרוקו, מעיראק, כאלה שהיו באים ואומרים לנו, חבר'ה, אתם נאיבים. אנחנו גדלנו איתם, אנחנו יודעים מי הם, והיו אומרים דברים מאוד לא פשוטים על שכניהם הערבים בארצות המוצא שלהם. אנחנו חיינו עם תחושה...
So the Sephardic Jews that came from Arabic countries were like, you do not understand who you're dealing with. You don't understand that you are going to talk peace with them and they're going to do like this, but then they're going to turn it around and make terror on you. You think that this is like going to work out in the long run. You think that you understand the Arab mentality, the Middle East mentality, but you don't. And you're making a humongous mistake, a strategic mistake that's going to cost you down the line. And because you're being fooled, you're naive. You don't get who you're dealing with. You don't understand the Middle East shuk, the market. You don't get it. You don't get the discourse around here, and you don't understand who you're playing with.
אני למשל, אבא שלי יוצא גרמניה, אמי יוצאת פולין. שניהם בעצם נמלטו מאימי הנאצים, כל אחד בדרכו. אבא שלי, שהוא היה בשנת 36 בבית ספר, הוקע, הוא היה בן 14, הוקע על ידי נאצים. לימים, כשגדלנו, ראינו שאפשר לקשור קשרים עם גרמניה, והנה עד היום גרמניה היא מהמדינות הכי ידידותיות שלנו. יכול להיות שעשינו...
So he's saying, look, my father came out of Nazi Germany. He was beaten by Nazis when he was 14. And we had a horrible, horrific war and a Holocaust, but then today, Germany is our ally and friend. We thought, here's what he's going to say, that we thought we could do the same with the Arabs. Yes, we have the conflict with them, but we could do it like we did with Germany. Again, projecting from the European experience to the Middle East experience.
השלכה שמה שאפשר לעשות איתם, אפשר לעשות עם הערבים. ה-7 באוקטובר...
So that's what he was saying, that we thought we could do that same thing. We could like make peace with the Arabs, give them something, give them the land. and come to some kind of bargain, some kind of middle ground, compromise, and we can all live happily after. That's what they thought. But these folks, one of the main wake-up calls, and he's about to say it, is the 7th of October, which is sad to me. So sad that it took so many years. And he says that actually in a different interview. He says, we should have known it immediately after the terrorism started, after Oslo. We should have known it immediately after the disengagement. We should have known that we should not go to these kind of moves of giving away land and pining away for peace, because that's not actually who we're dealing with. This is not the way to do it. And I must say now here, which is, there is a way to do it, and that is through respect and strength, Jewish bigness, a strong state of Israel, a powerful state of Israel that has clear borders, that has clear demands of its residents and citizens, and does not allow jihad to wantonly be promulgated within its land and on its borders. That does work in the Middle East, but they didn't understand that. They thought that compromise is beautiful because they were projecting from other theaters and not into the Middle East. It didn't work in the Middle East.
הוכיח לנו שאי אפשר.
October 7th made it clear it's impossible.
וזה פתאום נכנס לי לתוך התודעה. כמה התפתינו, כמה הלכנו שולל. לא בעצם החתימה על הסכמי אוסלו, אלא בכך שלא הגבנו ולא הפסקנו אותם, השענו אותם אחרי כל התקפות הטרור שהיו. אגב, לא רק אנחנו, גם ביבי, גם הליכוד, לא הפסיק את הסכמי אוסלו. אני לא מאשים פה, לא את הליכוד ולא אותנו, זה לא עניין של אשמה, אני מנסה להסביר מה עמד מאחורי זה, כי אמרתי בפוסט הקודם, כולנו רצינו טוב, אבל טעינו. אותם אלה שדיברו איתנו, מבני עדות המזרח, הם צדקו ואנחנו טעינו. והטעות החמורה ביותר שלנו, שעד היום אנחנו לא כל כך מקשיבים להם.
Knesset member Eli Goldschmidt is admitting that they weren't listening to the Sephardic Jews, who had a sense of who they're dealing with in terms of Arabs. But I would add to that, they were also not listening to the religious Jews about how our God, our history, our Torah tells us to deal with our enemies, not to give away the land of Israel. And frankly, there was another voice that they didn't listen to, which is common sense. Don't give your land away to your enemies. The people that speak, and I guess they weren't listening in Arabic, that say that they are dedicated to destroying you, don't give them chunks of your own land. That's just dumb. And it doesn't work. And I want to tell you that I think that Eli Goldschmidt is a very courageous and honest person, that he's gone out there and he's made more interviews explaining this. And he's doing us a favor also by helping us understand the psychology behind it. And many of us have understood the psychology of the Israeli left, the Israeli elite, the secular elite, what's also called the WASPs, the white Ashkenazi secular paratroopers. But they have failed in defending the state of Israel by not understanding who they're dealing with, and that has led to the terrorism of the Oslo intifadas, the second intifada, and that has led to the disengagement, led to the October 7th. And I want to tell you that not only did he not listen to Sephardic Jews, they just didn't listen to us, because people like myself were protesting in Gaza, saying, if you give away this land to the PA, you think you're going to have peace, you're going to have war, and there's going to be tunnels and balloons and rockets, and it'll be never ending. We didn't know the date of October 7th, but that is what we foresaw. Because of common sense, because of understanding the Middle East for what it is, respecting it for what it is, and also understanding our tradition and our Torah. Those all contribute to a better understanding than some of these maybe good-hearted but stubborn and deaf to a lot of important realities that they missed. Politicians from the Israeli secular left who have led us down this road of land giveaway that is still part of what we're hearing today from the American administration, the two-state solution that we hear all the time. That is all part of that poison fruit, of that poison tree of land giveaway that makes really no sense. But again, thank you, Eli Goldschmidt, for bringing it out to light and talking about it with clarity and with truth. I want to bless you guys, and God bless you wherever you are. This is Yishai Fleischer on the road. Please subscribe to our channel, and sending you lots of blessings from the land of blessings. We're always heading back to the land of blessings when we're on the road, connecting people to the land of Israel. God bless you wherever you are, and shalom.